Hello, my name is Michelle Backus, and I am an associate professor and county agent with Rutgers Cooperative Extension in Middlesex and Union counties, and welcome to the Rutgers Organic Land Care online class. I am so very happy you've decided to take the time to go through this program with us, and I'm going to be providing the introduction to who we are, as well as an overview of what organic land care is, and talk about the basic tenets of organic land care and a lot of the themes that you will hear throughout the class. And I'll also go over the details of the certificate program. So there is a lot of text on this slide, but is part of the requirements of the university that I let you know that the university now considers you to be research subjects. And as part of our human subjects compliance, I want to let you know that this program is part of a research project conducted by Rutgers Cooperative Extension to determine attitudes towards organic landscaping techniques and the effectiveness of this program. And participation is completely voluntary. We'll send you a survey after the class to see how we did, and you can ignore that survey if you'd like. There's contact information here if you want to know more about your rights as a research subject. So Rutgers Cooperative Extension, we are the outreach arm of the university, and Rutgers Cooperative Extension is a collaboration between the counties that we serve. So we are housed within the counties. It's a collaboration between the counties and the university. And every county in the state of New Jersey has a Rutgers Cooperative Extension office, except for Hudson County, but we do programming there, and you can read our mission. It's to help the diverse population of New Jersey adapt to changing society and improve their lives through science and education. So the different departments, this is our website here, and we have 4 different departments within Rutgers Cooperative Extension. This organic land care program is housed within the Agriculture and Natural Resources Department, but there's also 4-H Youth Development. You've probably seen their clover, their logo, which is the green clover. There's also Family and Community Health Sciences, and then the Office of Continuing Professional Education, and you may have taken some classes with them. So, jumping right into the meat of this, what is organic land care? Organic land care is a holistic approach to landscaping that improves the natural resources of a site by fostering cycling of resources, promoting ecological balance, and conserving biodiversity. And that statement there comes directly from the USDA National Organic Program. Organic land care involves treating your landscape as a whole living system where the soil and the plants and the animals within that system are interdependent and should sustain each other. And this type of thinking is based in ecology, which is the study of the relationships that living organisms have with the non-living environment. And as the steward of your landscapes in an organic system, your goal should be to restore and protect the ecological cycles in place on that property, as well as ensure that that property does not negatively affect surrounding land uses. Organic, as it applies to land care, means landscaping without the use of synthetic pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, and synthetic soil amendments. So why organic? Why is it beneficial to conduct organic land care? There's many different reasons that I'm going to be talking about. Here's just a couple. Organic land care promotes sustainable landscapes. So ultimately the goal in organic landscaping is that to create a landscape that need minimal inputs in order to thrive. You're also improving soil health, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. You're avoiding the use of harmful chemicals. So many of the synthetic pesticides are harmful to humans and animal life, to pollinators, for example. And then you're also helping to reduce polluted runoff from managed landscapes. You're helping to reduce polluted stormwater runoff, and we have a whole talk specifically on water quality protection at Organic Land Care. You're also helping to improve the biodiversity of the landscapes that you manage by increasing the use of the number of native plants in that landscape, improving soil health. You're increasing that biodiversity, which means that you're increasing the number of species and the number of interactions between those species that your landscape can support and help thrive. So at the beginning of the course, I usually give the introduction, and I like to go through these 10 key concepts of organic land care. And these are themes that you will hear throughout the class. And the first one is do no harm by protecting the natural elements of the site that you manage, the woodlots, the wetlands on that site. And then treating the landscape as a whole living system that interacts with each other. For example, when you have a weed or a pest problem, not just treating that particular issue, but understanding the underlying root problem. So a weed problem may be indicative of soil issues, for example, compaction, problems with soil acidity, maybe there's overwatering. So understanding the relationship between soil and plants and how those two work together is very important. And then also reducing energy, water, and material inputs. So you'll hear a lot about reducing inputs to the landscape. So people assume with organic land care that you're not using any pesticides at all, or maybe you're not using any fertilizer. But it's not just about the material inputs, it's also reducing the amount of energy that's used to maintain that property, reducing the amount of water and irrigation on that property. It also means practicing the law of return, so returning resources back to the property. For example, leaving grass clippings so that they can break down and provide nutrients back into the soil, or removing them and composting them for later. It also means promoting soil health, soil testing, improving the soil food web, and soil biology is a basic tenet of organic land care, and feeding the soil, which in turn feeds the plants. This translates into healthy, more disease-resistant plants. So applying fertilizer based on soil tests, right? You would not apply anything to a landscape without first getting a soil test to indicate that you actually need that material. And Rutgers does have a soil testing lab that you can utilize. It means increasing organic matter through the use of compost and promoting beneficial soil bacteria. So this is very important, right? If you want to use an organic fertilizer, a lot of these natural ingredients, you need that soil biology in there in order to break down those nutrients and make them available for plant uptake. So we have a whole part of this program that's dedicated to soil and soil health. Well, you'll learn all about that. And then fertilizing with naturally occurring materials to supply essential nutrients, again, as indicated by a soil test. So when you dive into organic fertilizers, you're dealing with different types of ingredients, right? So maybe you're not relying on ammonium nitrate, for example, for your nitrogen, but instead you're utilizing fish and feather or blood meals. And for phosphorus, you're utilizing bone meal or maybe rock powders. And then you'll see other ingredients, for example, seaweed that's valued for micronutrients. You're also favoring cultural practices. You speak to the organic land care practitioners, and they will tell you that getting your cultural practices right is absolutely key. So right plant, right place concepts, utilizing proper genetics in the landscape, increasing your mowing height to 3 inches so that those roots can develop, controlling your irrigation practices, staying on top of them, and then overseeding and aerating and top dressing with compost in the fall. These are all basic cultural practices, best practices that are utilized in the landscape. Getting these right is critical in order to conduct organic land care. And then also avoiding the use of prohibited materials. So understanding what is not supposed to be used in organic land care. One way to determine whether or not a product, for example, can be used is through the OMRI label, the Organic Materials Review Institute. This is a nonprofit third-party reviewer of organic products, and they determine whether or not a product would be okay to use in organic production and processing. So this is frequently used with the National Organic Program, the USDA program, for agricultural lands, farms that are certified organic under the NOP, but many of them can also be used in an organic land care program. Okay, so moving on, you're also encouraging biodiversity and avoiding monocultures. This is critical to identify low mow zones. Places in the landscape may be areas of turf that don't need to be mowed so frequently, can be turned over to low mow zones, maybe native grasses and wildflower meadows, utilizing low maintenance perennials, herbs and shrubs, and then avoiding monocultures, right, which are communities made up of just one species of plant, and then choosing low maintenance turfgrass varieties. And then the last one is running an organic business with honesty and integrity. This is critical that there be open communication between the landscaper and the customer about when organic land care can be done successfully on a property and when it can't be. It may take sometimes years to transition a property over into true organic management, and letting the customer know that and being honest about the practices that you're using is critical. Okay, so just now talking about our Rutgers Organic Land Care Program, a little bit of the history. When we were first developing the program, maybe 6-7 years ago, we looked to see what other programs were in existence and kind of based our program on that. So, for example, the NOFA, Northeast Organic Farming Association, they have a great organic land care program in Connecticut and Massachusetts. And then there was a program called Be Green Organic Yards in New York. There's also Oregon Tilth, and then SOL, or the Society for Organic Urban Land Care. All of these programs had developed standards that went along with their program. So we looked at those to provide us with guidance. And then as far as who we are, there is a Rutgers Organic Land Care Working Group made up of Rutgers Cooperative Extension professionals, folks in the industries, extension specialists, and even DEP representatives. And you can reach out to these individuals. They're also on our website to ask them questions. Many of them also help teach the class. So what is the purpose of this program? The purpose is to educate and assist land care practitioners in determining what is acceptable under an organic land care program. It is a certificate program. It is not a certification. There's no credential that comes with it. It is a voluntary program. And also, this is not the USDA National Organic Program. We looked at those regulations and that guidance when developing this program, but you cannot apply that USDA green label that you see in this slide to this program. there are no federal standards for organic land care the way there is for agriculture. There is the National Organic Program for Agriculture, and many of those standards can be applied to land care. And in absence of that, we developed this program to help provide guidance to practitioners on what's considered appropriate organic land care and what is not considered appropriate. So as far as what our program requires, we require you to complete in this case, the online class, and then to pass a proficiency exam at the end. Once you do that, then we list you on our Organic Land Care website, and hopefully you're familiar with our website. And there is a database there listed by county, which you will go into, and then New Jersey residents, clients can look through that database and see who has met the requirements of our program. On your website, the language that you can use for marketing materials is that you have successfully completed the requirements of the Rutgers Cooperative Extension Organic Land Care Certificate Program, and then you can link to our program. You cannot, however, use the Rutgers logo because that violates the university's trademark licensing policy. So if you're not familiar with our website, here it is. And then on the right there is a link to the certificate program. And then also underneath there is you click on Find a Landscaper, and then you can get into our database. And that's what you can tell clients also. We also have a Organic Land Care Best Management Practices manual that you can download from our website if you don't already have that. And that is a supplement to this course. It covers all the material that is covered in the course, and then you can use that to refer back to when you are in the field. It covers how to do a site assessment, soils and soil health, organic turf management, goes through native, exotic, and invasive plants, and a whole host of other topics, even some that are not necessarily covered in the class. So I want to end here just talking about some misconceptions of organic land care. The first one is that sometimes people will say to us, oh, that stuff, quote unquote, doesn't work. So the question is, does it work? Well, oftentimes we hear that from folks who maybe have decided to dabble in organic land care and switch over to a product. It doesn't work that way. If you want to conduct organic land care, then it is critical that you understand the science of how systems work. It's not about the product that you use. And often a professional or a homeowner will assume that going organic just means product swapping a conventional product for an organic one. It doesn't work that way. So honestly, folks who have said that to us just have not taken the time to truly understand the science behind how these systems work. Another misconception is that pesticides are not used at all in organic land care, and that is not true. Pesticides are used in an organic landscape. It has to be an approved product or a product with approved ingredients, or maybe an EPA 25B minimum risk product. And then another misconception is that about organic fertilizers. You have to be careful when you use organic fertilizers and just make sure that you're looking at the label and looking at the ingredients, because some organic, quote unquote, organic fertilizers may have prohibited ingredients, for example, sewage sludge or biosolids, which you cannot use in an organic landscape. Also, compost is critical. Using compost in organic land care is very common, but know that composts vary widely in nitrogen and phosphorus content, especially if you're using an animal-based manure. And in New Jersey, we have a fertilizer law, a strict fertilizer law. Some of the surrounding states do also, that prohibits the use of phosphorus except in specific situations, and then also limits the amount of nitrogen that you can apply. So you really just want to, know where your compost is coming from and what you're using. And then the last one is that, there's this misconception that organic landscaping is done by hippies who drink compost tea for breakfast. And that's not true either. Obviously, that's a joke. But many organic practitioners conduct organic land care very effectively with very successful businesses. But these practitioners have worked for years to hone their craft and understand their systems and the science of organic land care. And it takes time and experimentation to truly understand how to be successful with organic practices. So I encourage you to experiment and also to take lots of classes, lots of different classes, not just at Rutgers. There's other organizations too that offer this type of programming, and continue to learn and to learn about a lot of the different types of science that involved with doing this effectively. I want to thank you again for being part of this program. My contact information is here. You can feel free to reach out to me and have fun with the class.